गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड इवनिंग डियर फ्रेंड्स। स्वागत है आप लोगों का मेरे चैनल पे, मेरी वीडियो पे। और आज की जो वीडियो दैट इज रिगार्डिंग वियतनाम ई वीज़ा, एंड दिस वीडियो इज एक्सक्लूसिव बिकॉज आई हैव अ स्पेशल गेस्ट विद मी थू फ्रॉम Hanoi, Vietnam. Welcome aboard, and welcome to our channel. How are
Yeah,
you?
hello, Arthur. Nice to see you here. I'm Thu Nguyen from Vietnam. I'm based in Hanoi, and I'm so pleased to be with you today to discuss with you about Vietnam e-visa.
Before I come to the question, let me tell you in general, people report a lot of issues with the Vietnam e-visa. How, if you see the process is simple and straightforward, it's very easy to apply Vietnam e-visa in just 15 to 20 minutes, and you get your visa within 4 and 5 working days. However, some people encounter issues because they just have first name mentioned on their passport, no last name. So what happens to them? Like they get their visa, but when they arrive at the airport or they want to board the flight, they denied boarding basis that there's a mismatch between the details on their passport, the first name or the last name on the passport, as well as on the flight tickets or the visa. So, in certain scenarios, what are the best practices that you advise us, and what shall be done in this regard, in this matter? What is the best answer for this?
Yeah, to be honest with you, being a visa consultant, we often receive complaints from the client when they get the visa approved, but with the wrong detail, especially for few Indians, they just have the single name in their passport. Uh, Many people, they just have the surname, right? And some people only have the given name. So in this case, they still, the first thing I have to mention that even if they have the single name on the passport, they still can apply for Vietnam e-visa. And how do we do this? Supposing that they only have the single name in their passport, they can put the name in the surname field and then leave the given name box blank. It will be accepted, even though you can, as you can see in the e-visa application form on the immigration website, they request you to submit both the surname and then the given names. But in fact, if you do not have if you only have the single name, you still can process with it. So just to remember, put if the name is a single one, then put that name in the surname box, and then leave the given name blank. It will work 100% for sure.
I
All
mean, when
right?
you say the field, the last name field or the surname field, if we leave that blank, or shall we
Yes.
specify blank? Shall we write blank in that, because it won't let you speak further?
You don't not write anything in this box.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, some people, I heard some people, some client, they contact us, they double their name because they heard that in some video from some vlogger, they recommend them to double their name, but
No.
that's not the right way.
Okay, so if somebody has single name on the passport, first name on the
Yes,
passport, that shouldn't be replicated as a last name or the surname on the visa application form, because that's
yeah,
incorrect, according to you.
yeah, yeah, right.
Okay, thank you so much. So another question that comes to my mind is there are certain scenarios wherein people are stuck at the airport. They have the visa, they're denied boarding by the airlines. They're not able to reach to the point where they can clear the immigration, or if they go to the immigration, they are stuck there, or immigration don't let them enter the city. In such scenarios, if somebody is stuck at the airport, the visa is wasted, the money they spend, they wasted. What can they do to avoid going back, returning to their own home country? What shall be done right then and there at the airport? Is there any kind of visa on arrival service or express service that we can avail? I know there's an express service. In certain cases, people have reported that to me, that they have taken the express service that was very expensive.
Yes.
But officially, if you see, so India is not in the list of visa on arrival countries, except some Western countries and US, UK, and Australia, like that. So what are the options there then and there at the airport for Indians?
Yeah, so first I have to confirm with you one point. Uh, at the check-in counter from India or from anywhere of the world, the airline will double check the details in the e-visa. If it doesn't match with the one in the passport, then they reserve the right to decline the client. The other option is to get the visa on arrival. But talking about visa on arrival, for Vietnam, it's kind of a misunderstanding
Correct.
for many applicants. As you know, for visa on arrival for other country, you don't do anything in advance, but just to go to that country, collect the visa on the spot. Vietnam visa on arrival is different. So to get the visa on arrival for Vietnam, the first thing you have to do is to obtain a Vietnam visa letter through a visa agency. Like for us, we also provide this service.
Okay.
So we will get the visa letter granted by Vietnam Immigration Department, and then we will deliver to the client. With this visa letter, the client will show it at the check-in counter from departure, and then when they get to Vietnam airport, they show up at the landing visa counter and receive a visa sticker on their passport.
Okay.
So it really depends upon which situation it is. So we recommend the client to contact a visa agency for the right advice, because the visa can be done during the working hour only. However, we noticed that many flights from India, they depart at really late night in India, and just could be too late for anything. So our recommendation is that the client should double check all the detail in their e-visa after getting the visa approved to avoid any horrible or miserable mistake at the last minute.
Correct. I remember this service of visa on arrival that used to be there before COVID. In the case
Yeah,
of that you can procure some kind of invitation letter through some
yeah.
travel agency out there. You travel there, you pay a visa fee of 25 USD, and then you boom enter the city. Who runs a visa agency in Hanoi, Vietnam, and they provide you visa services or any queries if you have, they clear that.
There are some cases that the client still had a chance to get on the plane somehow, we do not know. And then when they get to Vietnam airport, they get stuck there. And our recommendation is that they should directly work with the immigration official right at the airport to solve the problem as quickly as possible. But to be honest with you, it can't be done within few minutes. It takes hours, even for the whole day, because it takes time to get the visa letter approved.
Uh,
And for the information, for the e-visa option, if you do not get the e-visa yet, then you have to submit at least 1 day in advance in order to get it done the next day. The fastest option for e-visas take 2 days. It can't be done in a short time. The visa letter can be done within the same day. Like normally, if we receive the request by like 2 p.m. our time, during the working days, we can get the visa letter approved 4 working days later. It's mean around 6 p.m. our time.
While if somebody applies an e-visa through you, the service is expedited. Like they can receive their e-visa in 2 and 3 working days, usually which takes like 4 and 5 working days. Am I right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. About the visa processing time, the e-visa processing time, as mentioned on the immigration website, they clearly say that it takes 3 working days. But in fact, it is not always 3 working days. Some people get it exactly in 3 working days. Some other can take like 4 or 5 days. And supposing that they make any mistake with their detail in the visa order, the immigration will ask them to amend the details. At that time, the visa processing time will start all over again. So the client should be aware of that. E-visa processing time can be longer than 3 working days. So be prepared for it.
I see.
And if they submit the visa request at the with us, we always want them against the regular processing time because to our experience, the regular processing time can be like between 3 to 5 working days. And in case they want to get it done faster, we have the 4 working hour service, 1 working day, 2 working day service, depends upon how fast is their flight.
How fast is the flight? Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
because they need to get the visa ready by the time they check in the flight.
I see. One has to reach out to you before 2 p.m. local time, Hanoi time, Vietnam time.
Yes.
They can be issued the invitation letter on the same day. However, if they
Yes.
contact you post 2 p.m. Hanoi time,
Yes.
they would be issued invitation
The
letter
next,
on the next day.
yeah.
By the way, I'm going to leave a link down below in the description from where you can actually sign up for the services. Like if you need a visa on arrival service sort of thing or e-visa quickly, then there's an option for you here today. So to anything that you have on your mind that you want to share, and how does your service support to the people?
Yeah, let's say there's one point that I need to clarify with Indian audience is that even if you have the single name in the passport, you are still eligible for Vietnam e-visa. Okay, I read a few comments on YouTube and social channel. They claim that with the single name, they are not eligible for Vietnam e-visa, but they are forced to use the visa on arrival option. It is not true. As I mentioned, with a single name, you still can apply for Vietnam e-visa. And in case you want to get the Vietnam visa on arrival option, it is still possible. But for the visa on arrival option, you have to pay 2 kinds of fee, the service fee and then the stamping fee upon arrival. So
Correct.
it's become more expensive.
More expensive than e-visas. Okay.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So
So the most economical option when you have sufficient time is going for Vietnam e-visa.
e-visa
And
really is a better option. Okay.
yes, and if you are confident with the form, you still have sufficient time for regular service, like 7 working days, then and you want to save the cost, you are possibly the best option is to submit the visa request by yourself at immigration website. Besides that, there are so many other commercial websites that offer the visa service for actual fee because they are like private sector and they charge the actual fee to make the job done faster and concise. Okay, so like that, and the fee the fee really vary depends upon the agency and how fast you want to get the visa done. Yeah. And there's another point I want to clarify is that many people still confused between the e-visa and visa on arrival option. Some people apply for e-visa. When they get the e-visa granted, they still ask us if they have to prepare the photo and pay the fee upon arrival. Paying the fee and showing off the photo is used when you get the visa sticker or visa on arrival at Vietnam airport only. With the Vietnam e-visa, it's quite straightforward. You just take along with you the passport and the copy of the e-visa to show at the check-in counter and then again in Vietnam. Yeah, there are some notifications that actually we already post on our website and also on our YouTube channel. Still, I have to remind you some point like when you submit the visa request, make sure that all the detail like the passport number, the date of birth, the name must be correct as in the passport or you will be refused to board the plane. The other thing is to pay attention to the visa validity. Even though the immigration mentioned that the e-visa can last up to 90 days for single or multiple entry, but when you mention the when you submit the visa order, you have to mention the entry and exit date.
Exactly.
The visa validity will be valid according to that time. It is not automatically 30 days or 90 days. Another thing is about the entry and exit port.
Exactly. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for adding that.
Before, like 2 years before, they make it more complicated for the e-visa. For example, you register Hanoi as the entry port, you must enter through Hanoi, not for
Yeah.
any other airport. But for now, they open it. Vietnam e-visa is now accepted at 42 international borders. So you can flexibly switch between the landing port and exit port. So in another word, if the visa is still valid, you can enter and exit Vietnam at any time, at any port.
Okay. Okay.
So
So say,
you do not need to worry about this matter anymore.
I see. That's excellent. Yeah, because somebody also confirmed me actually through the YouTube comments because I, shared an email address for the immigration to them, and they clarified to them that entry and exit points are no longer an issue. Like say entry point, I put Ho Chi Minh City, but I book
Yes.
a flight for Hanoi instead. So I
Mhm.
am allowed to enter the city through Hanoi, right?
Yes, of
They won't
course.
deny me because if you look at the format of the visa, there's no entry and exit points in there, though you specify in the form. Okay.
Yeah, right. And in case you are traveling with the children, and the children have having their own passport, you must submit the separate visa application form for them. There's one point just make the applicant misunderstand in the form. They mentioned that if you are traveling with the children and the children are included in the passport and they are under 14 years old, you can include the children into the form. But in reality, nowadays, every kid have their own passport. So it means that they need to get the separate visa.
Oh, okay. So they need to fill out their application form separately for kids,
Yeah,
whether they are
exactly.
below 14 years or they are above 14 years. If one is holding a passport, their application needs to be filled separately.
Exactly. That is. We get some cases
Yeah.
they misunderstand about the situation and they only apply the visa for the parents. When they get to the check-in counter, they are requested to get a visa for the children, and this could be too late because it was like out of the working hour. So the people who are traveling with the children should pay attention on this.
I see. Okay. All right, Tu, I think that's all. If there's nothing else, just to clarify, we have talked about entry and exit points. We talked about like if children are traveling with you. We talked about the first name and last name confusion. We talked
Yes.
about different type of visas one can avail in different situations, all in this video. So thank you so much to once again, and thank you so much peeps out there. Thanks for watching this video. Please do share this video. Subscribe to Thu's channel as well. She has a YouTube channel where she talks about her experience regarding the Vietnam e-visa, because they're running an agency out there in Hanoi, and as well as they also guide you on how to travel within Vietnam if you're planning a trip ahead in 2024 or 2025. And thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye and take care. Bye bye.
Yes, thank you, Astrid. Thank you, everyone, for sparing time with us. I'll see you in Vietnam.